You're listening to Extra Paycheck Podcast, where you will learn how to build and grow your own successful online business. Now, here's your host, Alex Soul.
Welcome to Extra Paycheck Podcast. This is episode number 3. In today's show, we'll be talking with Jakub, who started a really unique and interesting business in Montreal. Now, he uses the internet as one of the main tools to help him grow his business. We met at a local coffee shop called La Formule. Check them out if you live in Montreal or if you're visiting the city. The place is cool and their coffee is pretty amazing. However, you might hear some background noises during the show since it was recorded at a coffee shop, but nothing major, not a big deal, and you'll see that the content is well worth it. Welcome to Extra Paycheck Podcast.
Thank you.
So, tell me a little bit more about your business. What exactly is that you do here in Montreal?
Basically, I have a pastry delivery business. So, it was mainly for people at home in the beginning. But then with time, lots of coffee shops, local coffee shops, lots of businesses started to ask and need the service. So basically right now, it's all 3 of the categories. But you can receive it at home. Sunday morning, you get your fresh pastries. And you order regularly on the website. You can pay before, you can pay after, like the regular process of shopping online. Or you can be like a regular customer, like local coffee shops who receive every day. Or of course it can be also like really bigger orders for corporate meetings or whatever.
Events.
Exactly.
Like that.
Yeah.
Well, what's really interesting about your business that I found, and people might not realize it right off the bat, what we're talking about. You are not a pastry shop per se.
No.
You don't own a boutique or something. You don't own a place that sells pastries. Basically, you do deliveries only.
Yeah, that's right.
And that, I found that a really original idea. I've never heard of somebody just doing deliveries for something like pastries. How did you get that idea?
That's what's funny. I mean, I'm not even a baker. So, the idea came to my mind just when I was simply brainstorming, and I knew I wanted to found something and to have my own business, right? But I was brainstorming every day, and I was thinking how can I help my neighbors? Like I was living in a building, and I was thinking how can I help my neighbors? So then I realized with time and thinking and inspiration here and there that all the people go to the bakery, right? But only for themselves. So, they're gonna go from the same building to the bakery, wait in line, get like 1 baguette, and go all the way back. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's something there, cause everybody goes the same way. So it all started with that idea of maybe just getting the orders of all the building and going, and it's not even a business idea. It was more like a service. It was a way of helping. I didn't even think of how can I make a buck? Cause it doesn't even make sense. Cause I go, what do you want me to charge like $5 per baguette? Nobody gonna take me seriously, So it all started with this. Then I realized also that in bakeries, the service is very like quick and fast and not very, attentionate. So that was even more, it motivated me even more to and make this service very friendly and very close to the people. And then just like by talking with friends, I felt there was something with that idea in the beginning, and the idea wasn't even exactly what the business is today. Because the idea, it was like getting the orders, going there the next morning, getting for everyone. Whereas the money comes in, maybe I also thought maybe I could have like in my apartment some juice and some eggs. So if anybody like needs some juice and some eggs for the breakfast, at the same time it can be. But it was all this funky idea. And then with time, talking with friends, I've never been in business before. At that time, I had no freaking idea like how it works, what's the strategy, what's marketing, like nothing. So it all started with like just talking around and, building the idea up.
Yeah.
And, that's pretty much it. So, there it took me about a year and a half to like build the whole thing. So the website, the service, the business plan. Also at the same time, I didn't rush it through. So I wanted to be ready. I read, 200 books in that year and a half. Cause I knew I didn't have any degree whatsoever, business or marketing or whatever. So I knew I had to know something, right?
Yeah.
I knew I could start that project without like a real background. Yeah. But at the same time, I knew I was lacking some knowledge. So I tried to get all the books that touches a business, as well, like being a good boss, even though I was far from being even a boss per se. But I started like to try to see in the future what's going to happen and to prepare myself,
Yeah.
So, that's pretty much it. And now it's been a year and a half after the opening. So, I mean, it's exactly 3 years ago that the idea popped out, and that little by little baby steps, it went out.
Yeah, really cool, man. And, I've noticed that a lot of successful businesses, they start from exactly that. Not really thinking about, not putting the money as your main goal, but trying to figure out how can you help people around you. So it's kind of, you start doing something that you love yourself, or you start helping people. And if you're consistent at it, money will come somehow. It happens so many times. There's so many businesses that were not started as a business. It wasn't started with an idea of building a big business, or it was something like, well, if I make some money on the side, it'll be cool. Yeah. But if I help people, it's, even better. Yeah. It's an experience, right?
I could talk about that exact point. You couldn't be more right. I could talk about this like for months, you know, because with time you get your angle, right?
Yeah.
So you start to like know how you think, and also going the way you want it to be, right? Because every day you go forward, right? You're not just who you are forever. You can switch your mind. Exactly. So I have millions of examples of how a business that is based on genuinely like sincere people and like a sincere need and want to help, versus on the other side a pure business idea, which may be in the beginning smart and well prepared and whatever, well packaged, but if deep down the guys that run the business only want simply to get the quick buck, or even scam people, that's the opposite. But if you're more towards this, I think sooner or later you're gonna lose. Like not necessarily your business gonna like close. The word losing can be seen in different ways, right? But if your business is not like, you're not sincere, and you don't go after the buck, but you're more about your quality of the product, the people helping, and being really like open about it, I'm 100% sure that you're gonna win on the long run. And I've read in all these books that I read, of course I read some kind of Think and Grow Rich of Napoleon Hill, which is like the Bible for all classic, exactly. And even these guys that are millionaires or billionaires, it's the same thing that comes up again and again, is the fact that they didn't go after the money.
Yeah.
They did, all the decisions were more based about either helping people or becoming a better man or woman, or like, some more human stuff. And then the business comes. As you said, if in the beginning you're just starting it and you're like, if the money comes, it's all good. But worst case, I'm not going to be sad if, for example, for a year, I try to sell my pens that I've been doing for years, my homemade pens of wood and whatever. And if I try, it's all good. But if it don't work, it's all good still, because I've been doing it and I do it because I love it.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much the way to do.
Yeah, really good advice, man. When not when I started, but 5, 6, 7 years ago or something, I started a few websites with the main goal of making money, and I could tell you pretty much all of them failed. I'll give you one example. I was doing affiliate marketing for Amazon.com.
Okay.
And one of the websites I built was selling shredders. Yeah. And a lot of them, you could buy a shredder at Walmart for $100.
Yeah.
Or if you're more serious and you want something more sophisticated, you could go online and buy it for $2,000, $3,000.
Goddamn.
Now, the difference is that not the difference, but the whole thing is that I hate shredders.
Okay.
I don't hate them, I just don't give a damn about shredders, right?
Of course.
You can't be passionate about a shredder.
Yeah.
So, obviously, right, my goal was, they're expensive and I could make good money out of it.
Yeah.
But see, that's the thing. I don't like the product. I can't help people with it. You can't really. The whole point was that I was starting a few websites with a goal to make money, and all of them, every single one failed.
Yeah.
Now, the only ones that survived are the ones that actually either help people, either they're about a subject that I'm really passionate about.
Exactly.
So, when people read the content or when they listen to the content, they feel that I'm not there to get their wallet, I'm there sharing information or trying to help or just, sharing experience. And it's a really big difference. And at this point, I'm starting 2 different businesses on the side. One of it is a passion, and another one is more of a side project of a product that I'm using myself. That's actually another point. And this goes out to all the affiliate marketers out there who promote products. People can smell your lies from far away. So
100%.
It's a really bad idea to promote products that you don't like, that you don't use. It really doesn't work when you just tell people, oh, buy this computer, it's really amazing, when you haven't used it.
And you don't even believe it, what you're saying.
Exactly, and people feel it. People see that it's not true. On the other hand, when you talk about things that you enjoy yourself, that you use yourself, the real life recommendations, people feel that as well. They know that you're giving them good information and not just making stuff up to make an extra buck. So that's something to keep in mind.
And it's funny. Sorry to cut you. Because in the beginning, my only way of marketing and publicity was social media, right? Because I didn't have no budget, for example, buying in the newspapers. Even if I had a budget, I wouldn't do it still. But you know what I mean? It was my only option. That's it. And since it's more of a personal, social media, I've never in a post said don't forget to buy your pastries for tomorrow morning. It's always been some captions about how it's nice to have a pastry in front of you, or just more personal or funny or happy captions. Never I never even had a flyer saying buy tomorrow 1 get 1 free, specials, and I've been getting some comments about how this whole social media and my marketing is done from professionals, and they've been telling me how great it was, and they didn't tell me I like it because it's more there's a human touch, or you're not pushing your thing go buy over $30 and get 10% off. I never did deals like this. And I mean, I get so much people from social media because they feel that the passion is real, that the love of pastry and good stuff is real. So again, you're not gonna get a direct feedback about okay, you're good because you're doing this. It's just a feeling. People feel it. That's it.
This specific example made me think of a book I read last year, Jab, 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 Right Hook, by Gary Vaynerchuk. Have you heard of it?
I didn't read it, but I read all the other books of Gary Vaynerchuk. Because, it became... I liked him more when he was more entrepreneurial. And I mean, the last one is really purely about social media. So I mean,
I think that's the one that
exactly.
Jab, 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 Right Hook.
Exactly. So I didn't read it because I got a few feedbacks that it was pretty much what he said in all the books, but pushed a little bit further. So I didn't really interest me. But I love the guy.
I could lend you the book if you want.
Why not? Why not?
And anyways, the whole point of his book, Gary Vaynerchuk is really good at social media marketing. And that's one of his main points. He calls it what jab, 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 right hook means. It means give, ask.
Exactly.
And his point is that a lot of small businesses fail with social media, specifically because they do the opposite of what you just said.
They want to take.
They don't post stuff that people relate to. Every day, they could be very active, right, on social media, but every day they're going to post today only get 10% off. Buy 1, get 1 free. Today only. Or, so they're just asking. They're not giving. And like you said, when you go on social media and you're pastry business, right? You post cool pictures about pastries and this kind of motivational images and memes and stuff. And it's have an amazing Monday with a nice picture of a croissant and a coffee on the table. And people relate to that. They're this I know.
It's a positive message. That's it.
They feel good.
That's all.
They're not asked to spend money, to buy, to anything. They're just they see the image and they like it, they share it because it is an image that relates to a Monday morning.
That's right.
And everybody hates Monday mornings, right?
Yeah.
And then you have this positive
I like
image.
Mondays, but whatever.
Okay, you're the first one. Cool. I hate Mondays. I work from home. I haven't had a real job for 7 years, and I still hate Mondays. So, but I guess we're all creatures of habit.
But it's funny. I just want to make a little point about Gary Vaynerchuk is that as I was reading all these books before, I just like took little parts that related to me. So I kind of like made up my own way of business. Exactly. And I remember exactly in Thank You Economy by Gary Vaynerchuk, which is also a little bit social media, but not only social media. He tells how one day he messed up an order of wine because he was selling wine with his father.
Yeah.
And he drove like 5 hours to a lady to bring like 12 bottles of wine because he knew it was Christmas the next day. So it was probably like all the wine she needed for the whole thing. Yeah, that's exactly. He said like, I went there not because she's gonna take a picture. It was an old lady. She wasn't even a good customer or whatever, but it was only because he wanted so much to all his clients be satisfied, and he felt like that there was a problem, so it needed to be fixed. Of course he could have said, I'm sorry, it's not gonna get there before a week. Because I mean, he ships all the wine, but he drove by himself. And this is the kind of genuinely like, mentality, you know, like
caring about your customer and business and everything. Yeah,
that's it.
To be honest, I have a feeling we're really lacking on that in Canada and specifically in Montreal. What I've noticed, we have a new wave of businesses that are really concentrating on customer. I think your business is, I get a vibe that this kind of business, the customer is everything, right?
Yeah.
But we have, the problem is that I see we have a lot of old businesses that they still live in the mentality is like, well, a customer doesn't have a choice, so he'll come to me.
Yeah.
And, you know, they fail at making sure the customer is happy and satisfied. And I personally know a few businesses, one of them being a motorcycle shop that shut down their doors not so long ago in Montreal after, I think, 40 years in business.
Wow.
Because the owner, it's one of the reasons, the owner didn't care. He said, people know me. I'm one of the oldest motorcycle shops in Montreal. They're going to come to me anyways.
Yeah.
But see, younger people, they don't do that. Now they're learning to use feedback, to choose a business to deal with, to use social media. And if they're slightly unsatisfied with the business, and, you know, mistakes happen, everybody might screw up sometimes. But when you see that the business kind of does it on purpose, and not on purpose, they just don't care. They don't care about how you feel, and they don't care about screwing up. They're not gonna last long.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it's a older guys, younger generation thing. I think the younger generation is more aware of like the reasons or like the importance of feedback and stuff.
Yeah, but I meant it's not older guys, I meant it's older businesses.
Okay.
A lot of businesses that have been established for 20, 30, 40 years.
They take it for granted.
Yeah.
As in a relationship that after like 30 years of marriage, you're not gonna you're gonna neglect pretty much everything.
Exactly, yeah.
Which is pretty stupid because that's exactly where
the problems begin.
Mess up. Exactly. So, I mean, the business is the same. It's a relationship. So you gotta like want and you need to know, was it okay? What wasn't okay? Okay, I'm sorry if whatever.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Exactly.
Now we're getting to the main point of this whole podcast. Since my podcast about building and growing a business online. Now you have an offline business. It's not since you are doing local deliveries, it's not an online business. However, the internet is one of your main tools to grow this business. And, well, I guess the question in this case would be, how did you use the internet to initially build your business? How did you get your first clients using the internet, or was it word of mouth? And once you started building it, how did you grow? How exactly did you use internet to grow it?
First of all, I had a big help on the website and on the internet per se, because in the beginning, since it was something for people at home, of course I wanted to like let everyone know that the business exists. So I went up to all the bloggers in Montreal, all the foodies and stuff, all the important people, and you know, I gave some samples out just so the word of mouth starts off. So all the articles they wrote, they had all the words. So like pastries, Montreal delivery kind of thing. So after I had it a lot, especially with the coffee shops, because a coffee shop is a business. So, I mean, it's not like, you're at home and your sister tells you, oh, I had a pastry delivery yesterday. You should try it one day. When you're having a business, you need to make some decisions. You want to make the best decisions. So you're not going to only rely on like one feedback or something,
Yeah.
But it helps. It still helps. But of course, when you type pastry delivery Montreal or service or whatever, bakery, I'm like on 10 results. I'm like the eight times
on the first page
because of all the bloggers in the beginning.
Yeah.
But other than this, for real, I never put some no money on AdWords or anything because I just wanted to let it grow. Since there's a lot of reasons to it. Of course, since I'm not I don't consider myself a real business person. After like school and stuff. So of course, a lot of my decisions were pretty like funky. You know what I mean? Like I know someone who did some classes or did have a real business background. He's gonna like have a plan week by week. This is the goals. We gotta get one client per week, whatever. This is how much we want to sell, which is a good thing. It just happened that I focused way more on just the groove and
just went along.
Exactly. I let it slide, and of course, during the day, for the last year or year and a half, I worked on other projects too. So it wasn't to feel like fulfilled and happy at the end of the day. I didn't want to work just on this because I think I would just go crazy. So I spent a lot of time on other stuff and even working for other people or with other people. So of course, I didn't like push it as it could be pushed, right? But I know for a fact that that all the feedback, that the most important thing was to keep up and maintain the quality of the products and the service. That's one thing I never slacked or nothing. So naturally, the word of mouth goes on. It could have go way faster if, for example, I was like, putting flyers every day and calling and cold calling
hustling.
and mailing stuff. I did it for 2 months in the beginning. That's it. That's all. So, I know it would have go way faster, but I was okay with like the tempo it was going, and I was putting my focus way on more maintaining and just being happy about doing what I do.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. So, I know the web has a big part of it because of the search engine, because I know coffee shops found me. But after, I didn't have at all a web strategy whatsoever. So, the web was only something. A lot of times people called me and they're like, they're asking questions and stuff, and I'm like, you can just go on the website and order on the website, So people still had that reflex of like taking the phone, which was okay.
Yeah.
But I was just redirecting them to the website so they knew to go. I'm not sure that. Anyways, it's not something very common to order pastries at home, right? So it's not like you're searching on Google like best pizza in Montreal or pizza delivery NDG, and then it's important to have like
rank well.
Rank well, because people do search that stuff. It's less often you hear people that say like, oh, I want a croissant delivered to my door. Usually they know they have to go to the bakery shop, right? It's it's a reflex. So anyways, it wasn't like the main thing. It worked for the coffee shops. But then other than this, it was a lot of social media and word of mouth. Like every new client I was asking, like, where did you hear from us? And most of the time it was like, oh, a friend at work told me, or my sister, oh, I follow you guys on Instagram for a long time. And since I was managing to like make it fun and funny or funky, it was something that pushed people just to like one day or another order from us.
So I guess social media is also a big part of your so-called strategy, since you said you don't really have a strategy.
Big time.
But you do spend a lot of time
on social media. I did. I knew what I was doing. I knew my angle. I had a certain pattern. I was following a certain pattern of the way pictures were taken and like the way it changed. Not to put like the same kind of picture 5 times. So I put my face sometimes. I put only croissants. I put croissants and some coffee, since it's something that goes together. So I had a couple like guidelines, but nothing clear and fancy or complicated. But I still had some
basic rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Rules,
Exactly. Because you have to know what kind of image or message you're giving, right? So, I mean, it's still marketing. It's still a picture with a caption. It's like a poster you see in the metro. So the poster was made only for that. There, I mean, the picture gives other information, other vibes, but at the end of the day, it still gives a message from a business to a potential customer or a fan. So it still has to be something consistent, since someone like follows you from like 6 months. If post 5 pictures and then one picture goes up and it's like poor quality, they're gonna be like, okay, that's weird. I mean, I don't trust them as much as I did before, because you failed that little detail of all pictures must be sharp. You know what I mean? So you have to have some guidelines, but I mean, it's nothing like magic, you know, since it comes from the heart anyways. Because I mean, I put all the passion and all the heart to it.
I think what's good in your case is that sometimes you do post pictures of yourself. And I've seen you post pictures like you're all dressed up as a baker with a like cool baker hat and stuff like that. And I think people really appreciate this because it differentiates you from this big corporation that doesn't care, right? Because that's what people feel. Big businesses, they're after the money, they don't care about us little people. But when they see a person behind the business, like a real person, it's not just a business. It's like, oh, it's this guy who runs this business, and it gets on a lot more personal level. I think it really helps, especially in the social media world, when people feel like they can connect with a person, with a specific person.
Exactly. That what makes the difference between the post you were talking before of get one today and you get one free and stuff. It's not natural. At the end of the day, people want to make business with friends. Or they want to feel as they're being treated as friend, right? That's the whole point of being kind and being like a good customer service is someone that like respects you and talks to you almost as a friend. That's why like if it's too much corporate, like, hello sir, how are you today? You're like, dude, I'm 18, don't sir me. You know what I mean? Like, that's little details, and of course I have my vision to it, but I mean, if you do it naturally, you're gonna treat people the way you feel and the way you would like to be treated. They're gonna feel it. And since you are a business, you represent a business, either you're the boss or employee or whoever you are, if there's that connection and that equality, like that the people feel they are equal to you and that at the end of the day they win by doing business with you, that's what every business should do.
They should aim for that. I've had this problem before as well. Also, see, that's another thing when you just start. A lot of my sites or blogs were supposed to be, now I see it, is they would have succeeded better if they were more personal. But I always try to be like, to act as a big company because I thought it builds trust. So I wouldn't say, on my website, you'll find this. I'll be like, on our website, our team, our company. That's bull. That's a bunch of bull. It's not our company. It's my company. I'm the only one there. I'm like the only employee, you could say. And sometimes I have people helping me with certain tasks, and I would mention that. But in reality, it's not some corporate entity, right? It's me, myself. I'm a real person, and that's what I'm doing. And I've started sharing that as well. Not many years ago, a few years ago actually. I've started making it more personal. Like, hey, I'm Alex. I'm the guy who writes this stuff, right? And I started getting more emails and feedback from people because exactly
they feel
that's
they're talking to someone.
They're like, I'm talking to a real person who cares and who listens. And that changed a lot.
And even big corporation, it's possible for them to make it personal still. Because, I mean, when you get in touch with the customer service, you don't really like care or realize that there's maybe 500 people answering the phone. It doesn't matter. If the guy you're talking to, he's like, hi, my name is Alex. How are you, Jacob? What can I do for you? That's all that matters. So, I mean, it's so simple, but if the manager or the boss doesn't have it in his heart, he's never gonna let people know that they have to like be there as a friend. You know what I mean? They're gonna be like, you have 5 minutes to answer a phone. This is this. You know, if you're business oriented, well, people gonna feel it.
Well, it makes me think of I'm using a service, voice over IP service. For a second phone line. It's called VoIP.ms. So at some point I was trying to do something in that account to get a second number or something, and I was in Warsaw in Poland.
Okay.
And I called the guy. Well, I called
That's
the support.
where I was born.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
That's cool, man. So I called the support line, and the guy no, I didn't call. I'm sorry. They don't have a phone number. They have a chat.
Okay.
It's still a pretty big company, relatively. So I expect some outsourced company that doesn't really care. They would maybe try to solve my issue, but probably not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I start talking to this guy, and he's like, Alex, I see you're in Poland, but your account is Canadian. It's like, I just want to make sure it's the right person because, we want to make sure it's not hacked or something.
Yeah.
And I start giving him some confirmations. And then the guy starts talking to me. And then he's like, yeah, man, like, you're in Poland. It's really close to Bulgaria. You should check it out because, like, I went to Sofia last year with my family. It was really amazing. And I was like, oh, man, that's a support guy. That's like, you feel like you're talking to a friend.
Yeah.
And guess what happens? That was a year ago. I don't need the second line anymore, but I still pay for it. I still keep it just in case.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not expensive. It's maybe $2-3 per month.
Yeah.
But it's not the point. The point is that I don't need the service, yet I keep it because that one support guy made me feel like it's not a corporation that doesn't give a damn, that it's actually a business that cares and it's a lot, like they do a lot of attention to their clients, I guess, right?
Yeah.
The guy could have just solved my problem, which he did really quickly.
Yeah.
But since he saw that I wasn't in the country where the account was registered from, he started asking like, oh, you travel? Like, I like to travel as well. Go check this out. Go check this out. It's really nice, Yeah, so it all goes back to the same point.
That's crazy.
Don't act like a corporation.
No.
Act more personally.
Of course, it's easier when you're a small business, right?
Yeah, it is.
But at the same time, you're tempted when you're a small business to act bigger.
Yeah.
And that's even like the opposite. So if
Yeah.
you are big, you realize you have to be like super sharp.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it, but of course at least I think all bosses of like big companies of telephone or TV stuff, the ones that you usually call because there's a bill problem or whatever. But small businesses also have that problem because they're gonna be like, okay, we're not supposed to treat a client as he's a king since we want to be a bigger corporation. And I mean, we have lots of clients, right? So maybe you're gonna like neglect a little bit more customer service because you're like, man, I'm bigger than this, and then your head gets bigger.
If I lose a few small guys, I don't care, right?
Exactly.
I'll get new ones.
Exactly. And that's the wrong way of thinking. Because I mean, doesn't matter if you're big or small. You still need all these little people who come to your store and buy your stuff.
Yeah. But also, the point that you brought up a bit earlier, it doesn't matter if, let's say, a company support line has one person or 500.
Yeah.
See, it's easier to manage and to be friendly and all personal if you're only a few people.
Yeah.
But I believe that a big corporation can train their 500 phone support employees. They could train them
of course.
to be like, look, be more personal. I mean, it's not a lot harder to do than it sounds because you can't just tell your employees be personal.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
have to
they don't
change
have
the
it
whole
in.
corporation.
Yeah.
It's not that they don't have it. Yeah, first of all, you have to hire right people.
Yeah.
Second of all, I think that a lot of people don't care.
Yeah,
Their
but
employees, they don't care.
if you just tell your people be like this and you yourself, you don't make them feel that they deal with a human being and not a boss, and that the boss really cares about the customers. If it doesn't go the other way, the guys that answer the phone will never be like to the max of personal and like good customer service. Because I mean, they're not gonna feel it's real and okay, it's gonna be written on page 14 of like the how-to of customer service.
Yeah.
Be personal, be nice, and like smile to the phone. Okay, it doesn't mean nothing unless the boss really makes you feel as it's something really important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
that's exactly that. See, and it's not a directive that people should follow. It's a mentality.
It's
that
a
should
way
be
of
taught.
life. It's right, exactly.
Yeah, people should feel that you as a boss care about them, that managers care about them, and they should understand why they should be all friendly.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be just like, well, my boss told me to, so I'm gonna smile on the phone. No, they should really understand why this helps.
Yeah.
And that's another big thing, and I think some corporations are starting to get this. And if you look at companies like Google, they've always been praised for treating their employees very nicely and offering all these amazing services. And look, their employees only quit to start their own business, like to start their own big project. People don't quit Google. They don't want to leave that place because it's amazing. They feel like they're valued and appreciated.
That's right.
Well, at least I guess most of them. That's what you read online, right? I didn't work for Google. So I don't know, but that's the feedback that you hear from people. And I think every winter there's like a wave of people who quit Google.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the technical details why it's in the end of winter, but every time it happens is because those people, they've developed either products of their own or they're about to do a startup. And they just don't have time to still work at Google, right? That's the main reason. It's not because they don't like it or something went wrong. It's because they need all the time on their own project, which is also cool. And you know, Google, what usually they do, they support those people. They help them out. And it's like, it's crazy, right? It's like, you were one of our best developers at our company. Now you're quitting to start your own.
And we're happy for you.
Company. It's like, you know what? We'll help you out. And that's amazing.
Well, that's exactly.
That is really amazing.
The one and only and the biggest proof that you really care about your people is that if the guy you're trusting and has been working for you or with you for a couple of years, he's telling you, I got a new passion and I like, it means something to me. As a friend, you're supposed to be happy, right? Like, doesn't matter, like a mother that listens to her child and the child says like, I don't want to study this anymore. I want to go that way. Like a mother who really loves, you know, like unconditional love, she's not going to really care whether her son studies like law or doctor or art or history, right? Only if you are like more of a control freak mother or like you have your own dreams that you didn't realize and you want your kid to realize them for you, right? You're going to be like, no, you have to be a lawyer. This is the thing, right? So again, same thing with employees. And it's crazy because I read, I don't know if it's V1 or one of a couple books by the two founders of Google. And they said that over the years, they had 1,000 million propositions of how using Google.com, putting some videos on the front page, right? And since they've been always, at least that's what they say, but I think I trust them because I can feel it in their business. It's always been about the customer experience. So for them, if you're coming on Google.com, you don't want to see the new Mercedes or like a video of Budweiser. You just want to see a blank or like a nice little art thing. And you just want to search something. That's why you go on Google. Then you see like, and you feel it that their foundation, they're really like sincere and they're really concentrated and focused at first on the customer service and on like the way the web works and how it can help people. Because let's face it, I mean, Google helps people, right? Like globally, really does, I mean, Google Maps and Google and all the other stuff they use. But I mean, you have a question or you need to find something. I think compared to Yahoo and like Lycos and whatever stuff we used before Alta Vista, like it doesn't even compare, right?
Do you remember how Alta Vista was? It was
ugly,
hard to find. It was hard to find the search field because there were ads all over the place. There's advertising for everything all over. And at Google, that's exactly the opposite what they do. There's not a single ad. Yes, you have the AdWords ads on the search results.
Of course.
And they make it really clear that those are paid advertisings.
And there's never no images nor nothing. It's only text.
Exactly.
See? Because they don't want it to be like too boom in your face.
Yeah, they don't want it to be in your face, and they want you to understand that, look, these are like...
These are the guys that paid for it.
Yeah, the 10 results on the first page, they kind of make you want to see that those are results that we believe should be on the first page, or the most relevant to your search. However, on top or on the side, or sometimes both, a bit highlighted in yellow or some different color, and usually says ad. They give you more results, which are paid advertising, but they make sure that you realize as a consumer, as a user of Google search, that those are paid advertisings. They didn't necessarily deserve to be on the first page. People just pay for them and they put them. I mean, they have to make money as well, right?
Yeah, of course. And you understand it and you respect it.
Yeah,
right?
but once again, exactly, they make it really clear. Look, those are paid ads. Okay, so it's time to wrap up soon. You have another few minutes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so I guess final question would be going back to the basics of using internet for your business. Can you give like some of the most important hints on using social media?
One of the ways, of course, was just simply commenting other people's stuff. First of all, my main rule, for example, is, of course, have a clear image. So, I mean, there are some businesses that sell a lot of stuff. It has to be clear when people land on your page. They're not gonna like it if it's like a bunch of different stuff, right? So when you come on your page, you see it clearly that it's about motorcycles.
But your page, you mean not your website, your social profile page.
Social profile. But I mean, when people click on a name or at something, they don't land on the picture. They land on like 9 pictures at the same time.
Yeah.
They see your whole page. So first of all, you have to be consistent. Again, it's another reason to be consistent, not only for the people that already follow you, but for the people that comes to your page and see clearly, okay, this guy is really about pastries, and most of the time he's like lots of pastries, sometimes there's some coffee. Damn, I love it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you relate to it. So again, if for example you go on hashtags on like main and strategic hashtags, as for me it was simply bakery, croissant, mainly because I use like the croissant was my muse, you know.
Yeah.
So croissant, bakery, latte. I never did different hashtags.
What about Montreal?
Well, no, I simply had some people. I think I followed a couple of like websites of like Montreal, like the Main or
Like
stuff
Life
like this.
Montreal or
Yeah,
something.
exactly, like nightlife or that kind of stuff. But other than this, I know these guys liked me back and stuff. But other than this, I didn't. Well, yeah. When you go for, okay, I'll get to it. So first of all, you go for the hashtag. So of course, when you land on someone's picture that this girl took a picture of her croissant like half an hour ago, probably she liked it, right? Because she took a picture and she ate it.
Yeah.
So when she's gonna land on your page, there's quite some chances she's gonna like your page or at least some of your pics because she just had some. So you know you already relate on something.
Yeah.
First of all. Second of all, for example, if you take a picture at a place, so it's not only like on a table, but you clearly see it's at a coffee shop or it's with someone who's known, whatever. If you're gonna, for example, go and like and comment stuff of all the people that have been in Centre Bell, for example, or in my case, more in like a coffee shop.
Yeah.
They're gonna come to your page, they're gonna see a picture of a place they know. Maybe it was a picture, maybe their picture was taken like 2 weeks ago, but still they've been to that coffee shop.
That makes
so
a lot
if
of
they
sense, yeah.
arrive at your place, you already have something in common.
They relate, yeah.
Exactly.
There you
So even though that person, for example, in all her 150 pictures, she had one picture of croissant, I still can assume that at least she
likes
kind
them.
of likes it. So
Yeah.
when she gets to my page, for sure she's gonna be like, wow, this is like the paradise of croissant, you know?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, of course. And I mean, I think especially with Instagram, you got to start with quality. So your pictures have to be quality. After, another thing that I would suggest is original pictures. In the best case, all of them, or at least most of them, that you see that it's live pictures, right?
Your own pictures.
Exactly.
that you
Especially
take.
your own. And even better, I realize, I think that, for example, people in fashion, pictures of like live in the action, of like taking with your phone, are way more popular than, for example, like crazy photo shoots of, you know, like a real model with like a real photographer, because it's less real in the moment. So that's another thing. Like, I mean, I've been taking my pictures, almost all of them, unless I'm in the picture, was taken by me with my phone. In the beginning, that's these pictures. Then you have to be consistent with, at the same time, the quality and like the image of your pictures, right? Yeah. I know it sounds pretty much like clear, but trust me, I have some people that, I mean, their business is like a coffee shop, and then you see like 3 pictures of a baby in a restaurant, like their baby. You're like, dude, it's not your personal account, it's your business. Yeah. So, you know, not everyone has that logic or that point of view. So it's still some easy points, easy to follow and pretty much clear and nothing magical, but still some people don't follow them.
Yeah.
And of course, then you have to interact with other people.
Yeah. And you see like this example you just gave, if a guy owns a coffee shop and he posted a picture of his baby, I think it would be really cool if he actually posted a picture of his baby at his coffee shop with a big like cup of coffee. Exactly. It's funny, it's cute, and it's personal as well, right? Yeah, when they posted of a baby sleeping in their bedroom, it's kind of like, dude, it's
the best way of
much.
like of judging that kind of stuff is simply by telling yourself, okay, if the picture I'm about to post, I see it on my front page with all the 9 other pictures that you see when you arrive in the thing. Does it go along with all the rest?
Yeah.
Like, does it follow the thing? Like, am I the same guy behind the camera that posts, or one of the sudden you feel like it's someone different? Again, it goes again with personality. It's like, if you're a cool guy, or if you're like the little school's bad boy, people are gonna expect that you pretty much act all the time like this.
Yeah, that's true.
So it wouldn't make sense if, for example, one day you would become like different if you've been the same way. Your personality has to always be there, because I mean, it's you. So a business as a human being has to be consistent in how he acts and how the world sees him.
Yeah.
That's
So
as simple as this.
create your own original content, post it consistently, interact with people. I think that's that's a big one.
Yeah.
And as you said, make sure that your consistency is not only posting schedule, but also that you post relative stuff to your business or whatever you're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
As you said, posting something irrelevant to your main account is kind of useless and
does a lot of harm.
I guess it does a lot of harm.
Yeah.
I guess it will scare new followers away.
Yeah.
And I guess some even old followers might unsubscribe because they're like, hey, what's that? Like, I wanted to see pastries. Why am I looking at car tires? You know, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, all right. Well, thanks a lot for your suggestion, man. Thanks a lot for
Pleasure.
for being on the podcast.
Anytime.
I think I'll have you back at some point because you told me at the beginning you're going through many different interesting projects, and I think we might have some cool stuff to talk about later on.
Anytime, bro.
Thanks again. Really appreciate it. If people are listening to this from Montreal and they want to order some pastries, where do they go to order them?
Regalmatinal.com. That's pretty much it. You put your info, you choose whatever you like. Next thing you know, we at your door with some fresh croissant out of the oven, and man, you're gonna have a good morning.
Awesome. So guys, regalmatinal.com to get your fresh pastries in Montreal. Alright, thanks again, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Extra Paycheck Podcast. I will be putting up show notes at extrapodcast.com/3. This is where you'll be able to find more information about the things that we've covered in this episode, as well as you will be able to comment, ask questions, and leave your suggestions if you want to. Now, I would also really appreciate it if you could go to iTunes and leave a review for the show, for the actual podcast. This would help enormously, and I would really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and see you next Monday.